reaction.
Rejoice at that news.
As Japan's electronics industry pours out television sets for the world, Japan's own audience watches more TV than viewers anywhere else. In Tokyo, the set is on for 8.5 hours a day. For the Japanese housewife, television shapes the day.
Every morning, when she wakes up, just switch on the TV set. Oh, this program is now on, so I have to make the breakfast for my family. And, this news program starts. I have to go upstairs to wake my husband. And, this program said, hey kids, you have to leave now.
Often at school, people ask each other, what did you see on TV yesterday? So if you don't watch, you're out of touch.
The teachers have to make jokes in every 15 minutes. And because in the TV, that commercials come up in every 15 minutes. So that the kids cannot endure longer than 15 minutes.
The television addiction may have a special grip in Japan, but viewers around the world recognize the binding spell of the TV screen.
That tube is so seductive. You can't get away from that tube. I have a 5-month-old baby who just sits there and glares at the television. She can't even talk. I know how seductive it is.
We all gather here in the village square and watch television from the opening to the last program every day.
Television is very much an essential part of our life. Watching TV is as important to us as having bread with our meal. The children are never around when you want them. They're always watching TV.
Once television is on, you can't get a child to run an errand. They won't do anything in the house either. At a market research center in New York, children act out their favorite TV programs as part of a research project into the power of TV commercials. Like their generation across America, these children will spend a total of 3 years watching TV before they're 18. This project is part of a major new growth industry, trying to understand what the television addiction is doing to us all.
Television brought the family together, but not face to face. Today television tells most of the stories to most of the people most of the time. The new role of parents, the new role of teachers is to sort out what television teaches. Poor kids get smarter. Rich kids get dumber if they watch a lot of television.
In general, I think it can enrich people's lives rather than destroy them, erode them, or generally screw them up.
It has the power to reaffirm prejudice. It seldom has the power to change them.
It's the most powerful medium ever to affect the thinking and behavior of people. And I believe that to be absolutely true.
I'd say you simply cannot have a modern society without television. It's as simple as that.
Sex, violence, cheapness, murder, automobiles. Whatever's wrong in modern life, you'll find wrong in television.
You can pin almost anything on the box. Television is destroying democracy, or it's propaganda for the status quo. TV breeds violence, or it's a numbing drug. Television is educating the world, or driving it crazy. It seems television insists on mixing paradox with its power. Tony Lara has received his view of the world since his murder conviction in 1965 exclusively through television. Shut away from all other inputs, His experience offers an unusual chance to explore what television does to us.
Well, you have to understand that the only exposure I have to society is through this medium, through this window. Rather than a window, I would say maybe it might be a half of a pane.
It seems Tony Lara's exceptional exposure to television has sharpened his awareness of its ambiguous power.
People that have television sets, they don't use their imagination as much as they did in the old days. From that point of view, from that convict's point of view, I think it's a bad, negative thing. From a correctional official standpoint, it's positive, and because television tends to hypnotize you.
But for Tony Lara, 20 years of receiving the world through his television screen has also delivered a remarkable bonus. As a result of watching Dr. Bronowski's documentary series, The Ascent of Man, he gained credits for a master's degree. For him, television has been both a drug and a unique stimulant. It has also offered tantalizing images of freedom to a man who won't be considered for parole until the year 2006.
Moonshots, I remember thinking, here I am sitting in a tiny little cell, and these guys are way up there in that little light up there. It seemed desolate like what prison life is like.
One small step for man, one giant leap for man. Television can show you the face of the moon, but it can also show you the face and heart of man. I just hope we don't get too big for our britches. It's an awesome responsibility. Person behind the camera, the person who asks the questions, the person who explains the complex world which for the first time in our history, mankind is capable of extinguishing life on this planet.
We must not let television control us. We must control television. By control, I mean the people who are responsible for television must use it properly.
And that's why this instrument is so crucial, and the people who run it have such an obligation.
For the companies which make television, it can mean money and power. America's three major commercial networks share a multi-billion-dollar scramble for advertising money, which has made U.S. television one of the biggest businesses on earth.
There's an awful lot of money in it, and it's enormously profitable. When you hear these people from American television talk, if they're talking to the general public, they'll tell you that they are great information and entertainment and cultural medium. But when they talk amongst themselves, they speak very proudly of the fact that they're an advertising medium, and the best advertising medium in the world.
The problem with television in this country is that commercial television makes so much money doing its worst that it can't afford to do its best.
Advertising on American television is a $20 billion a year business. While the unique skills of the U.S. TV industry produce the television the world watches, earning $500 million a year in overseas sales, TV at home can take as much as $500,000 for one 30-second commercial. The result is a non-stop battle for advertising and audience ratings in a system where the loss of a single ratings point can cost the television company $50 million a year. It's this competition for advertising which British broadcasting has always been regulated to avoid, for fear of the impact on programs. In America, the programs must respond to the priorities of competition and money.
Anything to make a buck, anything to get the rating, instead of the true function of television, which is to communicate, to teach, as well as to entertain.
Delhi, India, the center of a very different kind of television industry. This is the main studio for Doordarshan, the Indian TV system serving a potential audience of 750 million people. From this one studio comes the national news, drama, entertainment, and education. Indian TV is a single-channel monopoly, and Doordarshan is a government-owned offshoot of the Ministry of Information. Indian TV, like the country it serves, is very poor. its stated priorities are utterly different from those of American television.
I think it is important for education, for vital information about farming and other such, because our country is very large and we still have quite a high rate of illiteracy. The visual is so much more effective than the spoken word.
In the mid-70s, India pioneered satellite distributed television, sending educational programs to thousands of remote villages. But though the emphasis remains on television as an aid to development, there are doubts about a more disturbing power resulting from the government monopoly.
Not only is it a state monopoly, it is a monopoly of the ruling party, Congress I. So that the opposition will not normally get a chance. If you don't like a particular newspaper or its policy, you can throw it away and you can subscribe to another. In case of broadcasting, you can do nothing. This is the only channel that is available to you.
But today, the industry which makes television, whether the power lies with big business or government, faces a new revolution. In the mid-80s, people like Mark Gordon are pioneering a television Klondike which threatens the landscape of the past 50 years. In his apartment in New York's South Bronx, Gordon has installed his own satellite receiving dish assembled from a kit. Feeding directly from scores of television satellites now in orbit 22,000 miles above his apartment, and bypassing broadcasting institutions and national boundaries, Mark Gordon can tune in to more than 300 channels of television from all over the world.
Now, I'm on Annex C now, which is the third Canadian satellite. Now, I keep moving it over. What I'm doing, I'm looking in here. Bingo, I got a bird. I wanted to prove a point to, shall I say, the industry that I can do something like this and anybody else can do something like this. Here's another one. In a matter of a couple of years, those spacings will sort of reduce by 50% because there'll be more satellites up in the air. Roughly, I can get about 300 channels now, and probably 600 channels in a few years from now.
The vision of television abundance is almost certainly something of an illusion. More television undoubtedly means more of the same programs, if the patterns of the past 30 years are maintained.
J'étais en train de penser à Steven.
Dubbing in Paris for the French version of Dynasty. In France, as in almost 100 other countries around the world, the American series is watched by millions. Everywhere we seem to be watching the same things, and they're usually the product of the American and British television machines.
Air traffic control. Come in.
In Delhi, a wealthy Indian family watch an episode of The Professionals on their video.
Let them come to us.
In Indonesia, a whole village is spellbound by a British comedy, though they don't understand a word of it.
Here are the things you wanted from the stockroom half.
But in the mid-80s, planet Earth's most familiar face probably belongs to Lucille Ball. Every day of every year, she's on the screen somewhere in the world.
These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise.
The American story machine has propelled the most powerful television myths of our times to the ends of the earth. Star Trek has colonized more than 100 countries.
To boldly go where no man has gone.